Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. And of course, the Brian Craig Show podcast is brought to you by Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting and Roofing, who will never sell you a roof you do not need. All right, well, a lot has happened. I want to start talking about this insane incident that happened at the White House today. Biden had his first cabinet meeting in 11 months. And he didn't even run the meeting. He brought Jill Biden in, and Jill Biden came in and sat down at the head of the table and started running the cabinet meeting.
Crazy.
And Kamala was not there. Okay, so it was not a full cabinet meeting. It is not a full cabinet meeting without the vice president. And I don't know if
nobody pointed that out on the news, by the way.
I don't know who else was not there because I don't know all the cabinet members with these. There's so many cabinet members, and these are, these DEI appointees, you know what I mean? But this is the thing with Jill Biden. Jill Biden has been doing this during Biden's whole presidency, but she backed off. If you remember, the first time they went to, I think it was Europe, she was on Air Force One. Mm-hmm. She was sitting at Biden's desk on Air Force One with his jacket with the presidential seal on it behind her,
I saw that.
Filling out paperwork like she was running the country. And you were telling me for the podcast before we started that she's been running the country the whole time.
Yeah.
And now that he's not running for re-election, it's not just that they're not hiding it. Jill wants to make sure that everyone knows she's been running the country illegally for 4 years. And
she wants people to know that she's been the one in charge the whole time. They got nothing to lose. Now he's not running again.
She does have something to lose because, and I am serious as a heart attack about this, okay? I believe Biden has been so out of it that Jill probably has been signing documents for him.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
And this is not unusual to do with married couples when one of them's elderly to sign their name on checks and things like this. Mm-hmm. But what she's doing is federal crimes that could even be murder. If she signed documents authoring military strikes, things like that, right? That's murder.
Well, there's no way of proving
it's
that.
Not signing her husband's name on a check.
These people all protect each other.
Trump's coming back, and he's not one of these guys.
No, I know, but there's no way to prove that. But I think she's been running the country the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And
into the ground.
She wants people to know that. That's why they purposely did this thing today and had her show up. Why would they do that? Think about it. They haven't had a meeting in 11 months. I don't know how often they're supposed to meet, but that seems like a long stretch. Then they have a meeting. His term is almost over, right? He's got 4 months, 5 months? They have a meeting, and she's there, and they make a point of pointing it out. She's at the head of the table. He defers to her. Why did they do that?
Couple reasons. I'll take a couple reasons.
That was not like, it wasn't like they just, it wasn't like the reporters just happened to stumble in and catch her. This was calculated and planned.
I'll tell you what. Well, the one reason is what we said.
She wants people to know.
Wants people, but here's another thing. I remember when Tony Blair left being prime minister, right? Now, being prime minister of the United Kingdom is not the same as being president of the United States. There's not as much majesty to it. But when he left, when he was done the same day, I saw a picture of him and his wife. They were waiting to get onto a train, and they were carrying their own luggage. Yeah. When's the last time Tony Blair carried his own luggage?
Yeah.
And if you watch The West Wing, remember The West Wing with Martin Sheen? Now, I know that's not real life, but it's pretty accurate to a lot of things. One of the last scenes in the last episode, right at the end, Martin Sheen and Stockard Channing, they're the president and first lady, they're leaving the White House.
Yep.
They're still president and first lady, but they're going to Jimmy Smitz's inauguration. They get to the door at the White House to leave, and the car's not there. And Stockard Channing, she looks over to Martin Sheen and says, "When's the last time someone was late for us?" And he's like, "Well, get used to it." That's what. So they've been out of power the 50 some odd days since Kamala got, they gave her the nomination without getting any votes. So nobody cares about Jill anymore. People aren't sucking up to them. They're not a big deal anymore because they're out of power. Mm-hmm. They only care. Look at Bill Clinton wandering around Chappaqua with no friends by himself.
Well, and once they're out,
nobody cares about him anymore.
What's her life going to be like? You know, they're going to be living in Delaware.
Changing adult diapers.
He'll be at the beach.
Yeah.
All day. And Trump made such a good point. I don't know if you guys watched Gutfeld, him on Gutfeld. It was one of the best things I've ever seen when Trump was on Gutfeld the other night. I recorded it and I've still got it on my TV, but I watched it twice. And he made such a good point. He said it is such a bad look to have a sitting president lying on a beach out of it over and over and over again when the world is falling apart. He said, who does that? He said, you know, I go golfing. I have, you know, he said, I'm allowed to, you know, relax, but, you know, but he's active. He's doing something. He's like, Joe Biden is just sitting on a beach, sleeping.
Yeah.
All day, every day. So that's what their life will be like. They'll go to their beach house. Jill will have her dinner parties with her friends. And Joe will be on the beach all day. She'll go drop him off with his Secret Service while she has her luncheons and tea parties. But, you know, she has lived in the White House, that whole area, for 12 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Include the vice president.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a big chunk. And that comes with a lot of perks and a lot of special treatment that none of us are privy to. Okay?
Yeah.
I think with Trump, it wasn't as big a deal because, I mean, the guy has a butler. The guy's lived...
His personal valet.
Right. I mean,
like Downton Abbey.
For him, moving into the White House was a down...
Oh, yeah.
Was a downslope or whatever you call it compared to what his life was like before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? For them, it's a downgrade. For them, it's an upgrade. And Trump's used to this. He's used to limousines and special treatment and security
Mm-hmm.
and getting into restaurants and this and that without a reservation. That's his whole life, is that. He's a celebrity. But for somebody like Jill and Joe, they only get that when they're in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And once you're no longer... Now, I'm sure Obama and them have... privileges and access, but they're still with it. The problem with her is her husband is not with it anymore. He's a vegetable. And without him, who is she?
Well,
so she's trying to establish, I feel, to the world and their friends that I've been the one in charge all along. So you want to have me around.
See, the
still.
Obamas are different because he's first black president and first black first lady.
Well, and they're still pretty young and with it. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's not just age, but look at the Clintons. Nobody cares about the Clintons. But because they're the first black, first family, first black president, you know, black people will rally around them in a special way. You know, but that video that came out about 1 or 2 years ago, I've done some YouTube videos a couple times and shown this. Bill Clinton's in Chappaqua, where they live. He gets out of his car. He's got his Secret Service. He's standing on the sidewalk in front of a bookstore.
Crazy.
People are walking by. They're walking around him. Nobody says anything. Nobody asks to take a picture. He's wearing these bright pink shoes to stand out. He goes into the bookstore.
Yeah.
A man walks by with his little girl. They don't even look at him. And you know, they don't even say, "Oh, look, there's President, Mr. President. Can my little girl meet you?" You know, I would do that. I would, if I saw Bill Clinton on the sidewalk now, I would take a selfie with him with my MAGA hat on, of course. But the majesty is gone when they're out of power. You know, these people.
Yeah. He's the president and he's out of it. So,
what
Jill's
happens?
Kind of be out there on her own. You know what I mean?
Oh, she'll be a nobody.
Yeah.
What happens with these people? Okay, the Clintons as an example. Again, the Obamas are different. First black, first family. And Trump, of course, is an exception to this. But the Clintons, the Bushes, and the Bidens will find this too. But they got something coming up I'll tell you about when they leave office. It's going to be big for them. The Bushes, the Clintons, these people do nothing but screw people over to get where they are. So when they're out of power, people are pissed off at them because they've screwed them over their whole lives. They want nothing to do with them. All right, that's why Hillary's in trouble. Now, the thing with the Bidens, though, what's going to happen with the Bidens is their kids are both hardcore drug addicts that have had an entire life of doing very bad and illegal things and always having mommy and daddy in power to take care of them. Before he was vice president and he was in the Senate, he was a senior senator, a very powerful senator.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean, that's been Jill's whole life.
So what's going to happen is their kids are going to screw up and one of them is going to get arrested. at some point. These are two people that have been doing crime all their life, and they're not going to realize that they don't have the connections anymore. Okay, I saw President Ford, his son. I forget his son's name, but President Ford's son. I saw him on an interview when I was in high school, and he said he was in a hotel room with the Secret Service detail during Jimmy Carter's inauguration, and he said the instant that Jimmy Carter completed the oath, the Secret Service officers left the hotel room, and he was by himself in this hotel room. They didn't even finish the hand of cards. So, Hunter Biden and Ashley Biden are going to screw up. And what Jill is going to spend the rest of her life doing is dealing with the personal problems of the kids on top of Biden, who wears diapers and things like this. So let me tell you, Hillary Clinton and Jill Biden are both in prison right now. Hillary Clinton's got to live with Bill. She didn't get the presidency. She put up with all that crap and did all that evil. Jill Biden, let me tell you, Jill Biden.
She's not looking forward to the future.
Hunter Biden and Ashley Biden are a reflection of their parents.
Yeah.
And Jill Biden is just as scummy as the rest of them are. She comes off like a librarian type, a school teacher type. She's just as scummy as all of them, okay? And they're in for the rest of their lives are going to be in a prison. Nobody's going to care about the Bidens. Let me tell you, the Bidens, all of them, are scummy, scummy people. A lot of these people, Kamala Harris and her husband are lowlives. But these two are criminal, scummy people that are involved in every vice known to humanity. And people do not like them. They tolerate them.
Well, he's an inconsequential president, and
Biden,
he's a one-termer. And I know Trump did one term, but he's going to get a second term. And we all know that story with 2020. And Trump said only consequential presidents get shot at. And that's
right.
True. And Biden is not consequential. And Jill knows it. And she knows that the ride is almost over. She has been a senator's wife. She has been a vice president's wife. She has been a president's wife. That comes with a hell of a lot of perks, a lot of power, a lot of access. And her husband is out of it. He's a vegetable, basically. So like you said, where does that leave her? So I feel they did this cabinet thing, that he did it for her benefit, and it might happen again. She wants people to know that that if you want favors or access or anything, I'm the one to come to, not him. That's what I feel that was about, basically. Like, I'm the one in charge, not him. He's not relevant. I'm relevant. It was to make her look relevant to their circle, their friends, to the world, setting her up to do speeches, things like that, to get invited, to write books. That to me is what that was about, was making her relevant and making her, because nobody's going to be inviting Biden
nowhere
to go speak anywhere. Okay. And once he's out of office, their influence is done. They're not going to have those privileges anymore of making deals and getting payoffs or whatever you want to call it. But she's got to make money somehow. So it's going to be through, Michelle Obama gives speeches. She did her thing at the DNC where she talked about how her parents told her not to trust rich people. I just saw a thing on X. She's doing speeches. Her tickets are $4,200 a piece.
Michelle Obama?
Yes.
What do you get for $4,200?
That's more than Taylor Swift. That's probably a VIP ticket, maybe. There's different tiers of tickets now, which we didn't have when we were growing up. But they go up to $4,200, but don't trust rich people. You think Jill Biden's going to get $4,200? No.
She wouldn't get 42 cents.
Because Hillary Clinton's still around. Michelle Obama's still around. People want to see them that are Democrats. Nobody wants to see Jill. Nobody wants to see her or Biden. They are going to have to, I'm telling you, and it's terrifying.
You know what will happen with Jill?
That she is going to be so
irrelevant.
I'll tell
you what will happen with Jill. This is what's going to happen with Jill. Other than she's going to have...
who's going to buy her books?
I'll tell you exactly what she's going to do. Okay? Now, other than she is going to have problems with her kids, because could you imagine all the things that their kids have done?
Well, she's the head of the family now.
That we don't know about, that Joe and her have taken care of because they're connected people.
Oh, yeah.
It's endless. But at some point, she's going to write a book. It'll be billed as a tell-all, and she'll talk about how bad he has been.
No way.
Oh, yeah. At least somebody will be interested in talking to her then. They're not even – and Kathy –
maybe after he's
year from now, they're not even going to want her on The View. She may do the interview circuit the beginning of next year, but after next year – she'll be forgotten.
No,
in
and she
history.
sees it coming, and it's terrifying her. It's terrifying her.
The ride's over.
This is why
she made a deal with the devil.
Yeah, this is why she didn't want him. Hey, look, she's had a good ride, right? She's been married to a senator. He's been a senator for 40 years. She's met everybody. She's met royalty. Who has a life like that? But she doesn't want it to end. And it's I'm telling you, I'm not saying people aren't going to want to hang out with her. She is a first lady, but she's going to go the way of Rosalind Carter. You know what I'm saying? She's just not going to be somebody that people are so interested in being with.
She's also humiliated because they were forced out. Now,
exactly?
But their egos are out of control.
She thought they'd have another 4 years.
The ego is out of control with Jill and Joe. This is what if they wanted to be remembered. Okay, if they wanted to be remembered as opposed to being nobodies and have a big deal made about them, what they would have done is this. Okay, and I'm not agreeing with this, but I'm talking about from their viewpoint, what they could have done. I'm not agreeing with this. If Joe Biden would have come out, because, they always say Trump's a threat. He's the one getting shot, but he's the threat to democracy, right? Mm-hmm. But if he came out and said the threat to democracy is so severe, that this election is so important, I'm going to resign and make the vice president the president so she has a better chance of winning. And if he would have, it would have been crazy, if he would have made the first black, Indian, Asian, whatever woman president of the United States, and he was responsible for that, he would have had a paragraph in history books. But now he'll be like Millard Fillmore. He'll totally forget. Just like, by the way, Bill Clinton, 8 years of nothingness except scandal. But he's no history for him.
He's known for Monica Lewinsky.
But that's not going to be in the school history books, right? In 20 years, Bill Clinton won't even be mentioned in school history books because they can't mention sex, right? That's all really he's known for. So Joe Biden and Jill Biden have made deals with the devil, and now the note is due. And that's it.
That's right.
That's it. I want to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting and Roofing, who will never sell you a roof you do not need. If you're in the state of Florida and you need a roof repair or roof replacement, call Tom Laporta. I'll have a YouTube video up this week. Tom Laporta had invited me to watch the process of them replacing a roof. Okay, and I made a YouTube video about it from the time they tore the old roof off, delivered the new roofing tiles, and then today I went and filmed the end of it with the roof completed. And it is spectacular. Now, I got to tell you, the house it's a little bit bigger than our house, Kathy. It's a mansion, okay?
Just
it's
a little bit.
Our house is
slightly.
our house is about the size of one of the garages.
Okay.
One of the garages.
That's
it's
about
pretty
right.
pretty big, and it's actually not too far from our house. I was surprised that there's these huge mansions as close to our house. I mean, but it's a beautiful roof, and I've dealt with a lot of roofers. If you're in Florida, you deal with roofers because we have hurricanes, so we all have to deal with roofers in Florida. I have never met a roofing crew like Tom Laporta's. They are skilled artisans. They're not some guys that you get with a lot of these roofers that are they go down the street and get these guys from the daily work pool, and then they take them to a job site. These are highly skilled artisans. And I was just blown away at the quality of the work and how organized they were while they were working. It was amazing. I'm going to have a YouTube video up about it on my YouTube channel. You guys can check it out. But if you're in the state of Florida and you need a roof repair or replacement, call Tom Laporta. He works on every type of roof, both residential and commercial, even municipal buildings. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. Give him a call, 954-604-4602. 954 604-4602. All right, I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll take a quick break and be right back after this. It's an election year in the United States, and there's one topic on everyone's mind, and that's immigration. From author Jake Adam Felton comes the groundbreaking book, The Invisible Immigration Army 2025, available now online at riskyamerican.com. This must-read book uncovers the hidden agendas as well as the unseen influences behind America's immigration policies. It's the truth you've never heard, the actions no one talks about, and they're all exposed in The Invisible Immigration Army 2025. Get your copy today for just $1.29 at riskyamerican.com. It's filled with exclusive insights and analysis you won't find anywhere else. It's what they don't want you to know. Share the link on all your social media so your friends can uncover the truth too. The Invisible Immigration Army 2025, online at riskyamerican.com. Order your copy right now and have the knowledge that others don't want you to have. riskyamerican.com. This Halloween, the scariest monsters are the humankind. From director Ethan Henry comes the new film Severance Mountain. It's the perfect date night thriller. In Severance Mountain, after a tragic loss, two friends go on a camping trip to the remote Adirondacks. But when a body is found on the mountain, they realize they're not alone. As Sarah and Toby try to reconnect, they find themselves in a nightmare. Every step deeper into the forest leads them closer to an unknown killer. A police sergeant knows something is hunting the tourist, but can Sarge stop it before it's too late? This Halloween, find out who or what is waiting in the woods. Severance Mountain is available right now on Amazon, Apple TV, iTunes, and Google Play. Don't get lost in the woods. Severance Mountain, where survival is the only option. Are you a restaurant owner or chef who wants to upgrade your kitchen without breaking the bank? Then check out Auction Factory Tennessee, your destination for top brand restaurant equipment at unbeatable prices. Auction Factory Tennessee specializes in brand new inventory and expertly restored repossessions. Whether you're building the commercial kitchen of your dreams or just need a few upgrades, Auction Factory Tennessee have you covered. And the best part, you can bid and win from the comfort of your own home or restaurant. Imagine saving thousands of dollars on premium equipment. Auction Factory Tennessee have everything you're looking for, from ovens and fryers to refrigeration units, and that's just the beginning. Over the next month, Auction Factory Tennessee is offering over $1 million worth of brand new merchandise. Auction Factory Tennessee has been helping businesses just like yours for over 2 decades. Auction Factory Tennessee auctions are happening right now, featuring everything you need to outfit your kitchen with the very best. Take your restaurant to the next level and go to auctionfactory.com, and under auctions, click Tennessee. That's auctionfactory.com, and under auctions, click Tennessee for Auction Factory Tennessee, producing auction perfection.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. I want to talk about this video I made, walking the path of the Florida golf course Trump assassin. And I've gotten so much great feedback from you guys out there, and I really appreciate it. And this was really an important video for me to make. And I know a lot of you heard me talk about it on the radio this morning, so I'll do just a quick recap of what I did, but I want to talk about the video and what I uncovered and why I did it. I did a video. I went day before yesterday. The police finally took down the blockades on the road in front of Trump's golf course. So I went there yesterday. I went to the spot where the assassin was. I went through where he was parked. I showed how the lady chased him. I showed all of that. Then I drove his escape route all the way to the point that the police arrested him. And when they arrested him off of I-95 in Martin County. I drove all the way there. I had the exact location of where they arrested. I pulled off of I-95 and filmed that too. And I did that for a few reasons. Okay, one, you guys know I love Trump, and I wanted to go there and see it. Remember when they shot him? I went to Mar-a-Lago that night. I did a special show on the radio, and I went to Mar-a-Lago that night and all that. But I know a lot of you know because I mentioned this. I have a degree in history. I have a double major. I have an education and a history degree that allows me to teach social studies and history. And I love history. I just never taught it because, well, Kathy and I couldn't live and eat if I became a school teacher. Right? Yeah, you know. So I never did it. I went to college when I was on the radio. And the reason I did that is all my radio friends, they'd lose their jobs, and then they were like, what am I going to do? They'd end up working at retail stores and stuff. And so I went to college after Kathy and I were married, and I went originally as a backup. Now Kathy and I, of course, we have our very successful podcast and everything, and I've been elevated in the radio world. Thank you so much to you guys out there, and we're okay now. I won't have to worry about teaching, anymore. And I don't think that with my internet footprint, I wouldn't last very long. If I got a job teaching, it wouldn't take them long to find my old shows and YouTube videos and podcast online. I'd be done, unless I went to Hillsdale University to teach, But anyway, I wanted to document it for a number of reasons. One, because of my love of history and everything, and no one has done this yet. Others will, and I was planning on doing it this weekend. And yesterday morning when I got off the air, the radio station's right up the street from the Trump golf course. So I said, I'm going to do this today because if I don't and someone else does it before me, I'm going to be pissed off at myself and I'll never forgive myself. So I went there and I documented it. And I told you, Kathy, when I got home, I edited the video. And I said, this is like walking the path out of the book depository right after the Kennedy assassination with Lee Harvey Oswald, or walking in the steps of John Wilkes Booth, and I got to do it first before anyone else had. And so that, to me, that was pretty cool. I got to document a primary source of history first. Think about that. It's almost like I wouldn't say it's like I discovered something, but to me, it's kind of close to that, right? It's a big deal. But I uncovered some things. And with all this press coverage, no one did it. Now, when I was there yesterday, the Fox News cameraman was there. He didn't tell me he was with Fox, but I knew he was with a network because of his camera. And he had a thing on that said press. And I saw his little bit of footage of the ground that was on there. They had one cameraman, nobody else there. He was there for like 60 seconds, okay? It took me all day to make this video. And
I think I saw the footage he took.
Yeah, it's been on Fox all day today.
They ran it, and what's amazing to me, they ran it during the Secret Service or after the Secret Service press conference, which was ridiculous. What was amazing to me, and what a lot of people, well, not amazing to me, but I live down here, so I know how it is, but what might shock a lot of people. The news reported that the gunman was in a wooded area.
He was hiding in the woods.
There's no woods in South Florida, okay? There's no woods here. We don't live in Oregon. It was a hedge. And hedges here are everywhere. I mean, we have hedges around our house. Everybody's got a hedge. The hedge, what was amazing to me is the guy went into the hedge where the guy was standing. It's about 2 feet deep. That's it. And once you get past the 2 feet, it is open territory. It is an open golf course. There is no trees there. There were no woods there.
When you watch my video,
it was incredible to me.
When you watch my video, okay, and this is the first thing I uncovered when I was making my video, okay, and you'll hear me talk about this in the video. We have the same hedge in our backyard, and
same one, pretty much,
and it's completely transparent. And when I was there filming it, and you'll see this in the video, I could see the guys playing golf on the golf course through the hedge.
Yes.
I could see what they were wearing.
Yeah.
This
was not a thick brush.
And there is no way that this guy in a pink shirt was hiding behind there with a rifle and backpacks and all this stuff, and people didn't see him all day.
There's nowhere to hide. This is what they're not telling you. and I got this from your video too. This is a 2-foot hedge, okay? There's nowhere to hide here. It's not like a big wooded area where he could have camped out and set up camp and waited. So what I think happened is he went in and put his gun and his backpacks and all his stuff on the fence, and then he went and slept in his car.
I don't even think that, Kathy. I'm telling you why. There's
nowhere for him to
this.
sleep or camp.
What blew me away, okay, and I found the exact spot, and I show how I found this in the video. I found the spot because the police have cleaned up everything. You cannot even tell it was a crime scene. They did a very good job. You can't even tell where the grass was. I looked at the local news footage from our local television stations, and I looked at the street, and I could see the sewer drains. So I looked at the closest sewer drain to where the crime scene was, and then I counted the palm trees to find it. And then I found on the back of the palm trees some marks with paint that the FBI put there so they could mark the crime scene.
Yeah, it's like spray paint.
It's like
with
white. It's
yeah,
white.
yeah. And you can see where they marked
and
it.
That's how I was able to find it. And it took a few minutes. It was not that easy. It looks easy when I show it, but it wasn't that easy. And the hedges, when you see it on TV, they're kind of far away. They look thick. When you watch my video, okay, these hedges, it's the same trees we have in our backyard.
Yeah.
And what happens with these trees, they're great hedges, but as they grow, the stump grows and you have this area underneath that has no bush, just the stump. And these are older than our trees, so it's about a foot or two high of just nothing.
You could see legs if somebody was standing there. And you could see the legs.
And that's supposedly where he had this AK-47 in the backpack. And it's completely—
There's stuff they're not telling you.
It's completely transparent. Not only that, you'll see this on my video and hear this. I could hear the conversations that the golfers were having. Not only could I see them and tell you what they were wearing, I could hear what they were saying.
They want you to believe that this guy was in a deep wooded area, very far away
that no one
from
could have
Trump.
seen.
Okay, that he was so hidden. That's not true. That's not true. There is no hiding in this. It is literally 2 feet thick.
There's not
this hedge.
It's not even
a hedge.
It's not even thick.
Did you ever see the movie Over the Hedge, the cartoon? It's like that.
It's not even thick. It's not even a thick hedge.
In fact, in your video, I noticed that when you were standing outside the hedge, it's not woods, it's a hedge. When you were standing outside of it, I could see the sky on the other side.
Yes,
and I
you
could
can.
see the golf course on the other side. You can see right through it. So, there's no way this guy would not have been seen. He would have had to stand there all night.
By dozens of people.
Okay, so what I'm wondering is, this is what I think they don't want to tell you. Now that I'm amending my theory here. He either slept in his car or he slept on the golf course. And he camped out and hung out all night on the golf course.
Here's the problem, Kathy.
Under another tree, and nobody saw him, and they didn't care to look.
Here's the problem, okay? The guy was wearing a bright pink shirt. We saw when he got arrested. Even if he was camouflaged, you would have seen him, okay? There is, from far away, it looks like a dense hedge. There's hardly any leaves on it. It's transparent. I was in shock. So, the idea that he was back there for 10 seconds.
And nobody would have seen him. Exactly.
And also, the backpacks and the rifle back there, there's no way that would not have been seen by dozens of people.
I know, driving by. It was literally 4 feet off the street. Somebody had left a comment in your video how they thought there was a ditch. And all. No, this was on a very busy street, like 5 feet off the street with a sidewalk. This is a busy area. And looking at it, there is no way first of all, like I said, this guy could not have slept inside these bushes. Okay. These bushes, you can't even stand inside of them for long. You'd get all cut up. You'd be all cut up, okay? Because the branches are very sharp. We have the same hedge in our backyard. So he did not hang out in these bushes for 12 hours. He would have had to
sleep back there.
And if he did, people driving by would have seen him and would have been like, "Holy crap! There's a guy in the bushes at the Trump golf course. What's going on?" They would have called the cops.
And here's another thing: to get to the golf course entrance, you have to drive by this. So all the security, all the police that are with Trump, they all drive. There's no way if he was back, he might as well. he might as well have been standing on the sidewalk out of the open.
Exactly.
That's how open this is.
Yeah, it's very open.
I was in complete shock, Kathy.
Yeah, no, it's very open.
I was in complete shock.
It's not dense at all. So either he put his so they pinged him in the area since 1:30 in the morning. So he was there 12 hours. Okay, I don't know how big of an area these pings are. I've watched a lot of true crime, and it's like I'm guessing, the nearest tower. There's probably a lot of towers in that area. It's a busy area. It's an industrial area, but there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of homes around there.
They can do it closer because
they're not telling us where he was.
A lot of time I keep my precise location on my phone all the time for Kathy. Because sometimes I'm on the phone and I'm going on drives and I'm not sure where I'm going. I say, hey, can you look and see exactly where I am? And because I'm on the phone a lot doing work and I'll lose track of where I am. You know how that goes. But anyway, so you'll see all this in my video. But this is the thing that I really learned from this part of the video. When did he bring the rifle and the backpacks over? Because
they're not telling us.
Because I find it another reason I did. Listen. I wanted to be the first person to do it. That was a large reason I did it yesterday. Okay, I'm not going to try to. I'm proud that I was first to do it in the world. Everybody should have done. I should not have been first. People that have like a budget and film crews and things like Fox, they should have done this, not me first. But I did it first. But I also wanted to document the situation before the brainwashing begins of misinformation, okay, from the Secret Service and the media and stuff. I cannot believe, as open as this is, that he had the rifle and the backpacks there for 12 hours.
No, you could see it from the street. You'd be able to see it.
I do not trust that he that he didn't go over there during the day with the rifle and everything, and no one stopped him. Another thing is this.
Well, that's
right across the
problem.
street is a United States post office, and it's a main post office. It's one of their centers. It's a post office, but it's a larger post office that oversees other post offices. Like I don't know if you would call it a distribution center, but it's almost like a hub. There's cameras all over that joint.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's a federal building. And so they've got cameras of all of this. So of this area where he was. Another reason I did the video is I wanted people to see the area around it so you guys could have some perspective. You're only seeing a snapshot on television. Then after I did all that, I showed where he was parked. I showed where the woman chased him and all of that. And then I drove his escape route. And the area that Trump's golf course, and you'll see this in the video, and please, it's on my YouTube channel, Brian Craig Show on YouTube. The area that Trump's golf course is in a strange area for Trump. The golf course is beautiful and luxurious, like everything Trump has, but the area around it is an industrial area.
Yeah.
The same as
he probably got the land really cheap.
Well, Barron's High School is right up the street from the golf course. The high school that Barron went to was founded by the Koch brothers. It's a very elite school of the uber rich conservative kids of Palm Beach. It's also in the same industrial area, and it's very weird. So the area around the golf course is very industrial. It is a confusing area to drive in, and it doesn't have a direct route to the interstate. To get to he took I-95 north.
Keep in mind, this guy's not a local.
No,
he's not a local. He's not from here, so he would not know. I mean, I'm a local, and I wouldn't probably even know how to get there.
I've driven over there a million times. I've been going over in that area since
you know
70s,
that area better than I do.
Since the 70s when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time finding I-95 northbound from there, and I drive there regularly. It's just south of the airport where the hangar where Trump Force One parks. It's 2 minutes from Trump's plane, where he parks his plane. And it is very hard to find the entrance to I-95. And some people says, oh, he's got Google Maps or iMaps. The road, I can't. You'll see this in the video. It's hard for me to describe. You'll see it on my YouTube video. But even with iMaps or Google Maps, it's incredibly confusing. So I think he drove the route. I think he drove the escape route. Okay. I don't
Ahead of
think
time.
I don't think he would have casually been able to find 95 from this very strange industrial location. And another thing too is there's a lot of lights before 95, and all the reports said he was driving casually with traffic to not stand out. And I got caught by 3 or 4 lights before I got to I-95, including there's a light, and I noticed this when I was filming, and then it happened to me. The light to turn away from the golf course is always red, and unless there's a car there. It's got a sensor on it. He had to have stopped at the red light in front of the golf course. There's no way that he didn't stop at the red light at the golf course because it's always red unless there's a car there. So, and he had just been fired on by federal agents, by Secret Service. He stopped at red lights and they still didn't get him. So, and then finally, I'll save the rest of it for you guys to watch.
Well, I don't understand. He's in this hedge that's 2 feet thick. So he couldn't have been hanging out in there all morning and all night. There'd be no way for him. So he was either in his car or hanging out right next to the hedge on the inside on the golf course, which is what I'm thinking. He was just laying there. I mean, they didn't. I don't know how they couldn't have seen this guy. I just don't know. I mean, because it's out. Once you get past the 2-foot hedge, it's completely open. It's complete. You can see the golf course is completely open. They want you to think. I mean, it is shocking. I don't know which is more shocking. I was thinking about it today. The Butler rally or this? Which is more shocking as far as gunman access to Trump? I can't decide.
They're different.
I mean,
because the guy was running around on the roof.
The guy was running around the roof. He went through a bunch of checkpoints and all that. But this is almost scarier to me because the guy just walked up to the hedge and stuck a gun in there, and boom!
Well,
I mean,
and
it could have been over.
I'll tell you another thing too.
It's almost more frightening.
Okay, and I show this in
people don't realize how easy this was.
I show this in the video a little bit. At the end of the street, because he was there for 12 hours, right?
Maybe.
No, well, that's what they say. That's what they say. That's what they say. What did he do about going to the men's room? There's a mobile gas station and a 7-Eleven at the end of the street. He had to have gone there to pee, to one of them at least once.
There's got to be camera footage of him walking around.
And they said that he had food. Did he buy it at the mobile or 7-Eleven? Have they gotten those cameras? There's cameras, not just in those stores, in the parking lots. And we've seen nothing or heard nothing.
Nope, and we never will.
And what they're probably doing is destroying all the evidence.
Yeah.
Now, but most of the rest, you guys can see in the video. But one last thing I want to mention. I was shocked how long of a drive it was to where they got him. It took me about an hour. I drove with the flow of traffic because the sheriff said he did. He was not in a high-speed he was driving with the flow of traffic to not stand out. So I did that. Now, traffic on I-95 goes pretty fast, but I wasn't swerving in and out of cars. I got into the left lane, and I followed the cars in front of me because I was recreating what he did to the best of my ability based on what we know now, right? Things could change down the road. And it took me almost an hour to get to the spot where they arrested him. You mean to tell me this guy got an hour? Now, one of the
when you told me how far north you were, I was really surprised. Like, this was the counties down here are big. Broward County, Miami, Palm Beach, they are huge counties.
Yeah, Palm Beach is massive.
These are not small counties. So Palm Beach, to drive from one end of the county, like we're at the bottom end, to the top, is a good hour drive. I would say an hour from where we are.
It's 50 minutes. It's 50 minutes from the southern part of Palm Beach to the northern part.
If you're on the highway only,
it's 50 minutes to an hour. Yeah, I've timed it many times. 50 minutes to an hour.
He was caught at the top, so he was kind of the golf course. Where would you say it fits?
He's in the middle.
Beach?
He's in the middle of Palm Beach County.
Middle, okay. And then he got all the way to the top of Martin. Almost to the next county.
He almost made it 2 counties away. In fact, where they got him was just south of the 3rd county. And
I can't remember what
I knew the mile marker because the Martin County Sheriff at his first press conference on Monday said the mile marker where they arrested him. And I knew what the mile marker was to go to. And that's what I was going by, the mile markers. And I've driven by there 10 million times. It's not too far from where Kathy's dad lives. And
No.
It took me about an hour to
In
get
fact,
from
you
the
called
golf
me
course.
And you said, I'm really surprised how far this is. Like,
He got that far.
I didn't think he'd gotten this far.
He got an hour north, almost an hour north of the golf course before they stopped it. Now, one of the sheriffs said, "Oh, they had him long before, but they wanted to wait till he was in an isolated area." I call BS on that one. They supposedly they didn't know who he was in the car. Did he have explosives? Did he have other guns? They're going to let him drive? No,
So
they would have shut down the road and boxed him in.
The Secret Service agent that shot at him,
Who
I'd like
missed?
to know
Who missed?
how far away he was from him when he saw him and started shooting. 50 feet, 10 feet. That's important because if he was 10 feet away, I would assume he'd run up to the bushes and follow the guy.
We don't know.
But he didn't because a witness had to get the car. What did he do after he shot at him? Did he go back to the president? Or
Who knows?
did he? I mean,
We
you
don't know.
think
They haven't
he'd go
told-
after the gunman?
They've told us nothing.
Yeah, we
And-
know nothing.
And I'm also curious, how many rounds did he fire and where did they hit? Those bullets don't stop till they hit something, and they didn't hit the assassin.
Hannity said they heard 4 shots. Pop, 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 pop. So
where did those bullets
they
go?
said the gunman didn't get any bullets off. So he shot at him 4 times and missed.
Yeah. Now go to my YouTube channel and watch the video, and I will tell you, I didn't do a lot of editorializing like I'm doing now because I wanted to document it, and I do talk about and point out a lot of things. Some I've mentioned, many I haven't.
Yes.
But a lot of people be turned off because I wore my MAGA hat in it, and I am going to wear my MAGA hat, and of course, if I'm going to go to a Trump property, I'm going to have that MAGA hat on. And I'll tell you one thing too. I did not show this in the video because I didn't think it was appropriate. I was being watched when I was doing this. Okay, so even though the president's not there, they have security.
Well, this is what Trump needs to do.
I was being
now.
watched more than this guy.
Trump needs to. And I'm surprised it isn't like this. Maybe it is, but the road where the hedge is on is like there's a perimeter around the golf course, okay?
Yeah.
And it's long, and there's all these big, beautiful palm trees, which probably cost about $20,000 a piece. Down
more.
maybe more, maybe 50. Palm trees are not cheap. Down the whole road,
they're royal palms.
okay, royal palm, like the kind you see like in Beverly Hills, around the whole thing, okay. Those palm trees alone were probably a few million.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there's cameras there. I would assume
Absolutely. All over the place.
The outside, showing the outside, and there has got to be, I would assume, a security team inside the golf course monitoring these cameras. You know, they're just the press conference today with the Secret Service. It was just smoke and mirrors. I mean, this guy's a company man. He did say that there was a communication failure. We're never, ever going to know. This is going to be like the JFK. We're never going to really know the truth.
We know.
Maybe, but I mean officially, maybe down the road. And I got to tell you, the local news did a story the other day that was disgusting. WPTV, which is the news I watch because I like their weather team. And I like the weather stuff. They did a story the next day or on Tuesday. They went to the area where this all happened, right? They interviewed people. I couldn't believe the angle they took on this story. It was all about how the traffic was disrupted because of this event.
Yeah.
And how people couldn't get to work or
That
to
was
the
their story.
bank or the post office because of the red tape. And the whole story was interviewing people on the street, how this was an inconvenience for them in the local area because Trump was almost killed.
Yeah.
I could not believe that was the angle they took
Disgusting.
on the story. It was absolutely shocking to me. Nothing about Trump's life or the gunman or how did this happen. It was like, this was a big inconvenience for the people here. What, for 2 days? And they couldn't get to their post office and they couldn't get to the bank. And then they interview people. Yeah, I had to go to work and I couldn't get into work. And but I was just in shock that was the angle they went with.
Now,
I kept waiting for them to talk about Trump and his life. No, just an inconvenience.
Or show,
thank God the traffic's back to normal
or
now.
or show people the
and the red
assassin
tape.
and all that
Yeah,
stuff. Like
thank God the red tape's gone because God forbid We have to deal with, Trump. They want you to think that he's such an inconvenience to the locals, and that's just not true.
Yeah. Now, I want to talk about Mike Lindell and MyPillow. I was talking to Steve. I didn't realize how many MyPillow products Steve Kane has. He has almost as many as we do. No, we have what I call a MyPillow home because we have pretty much everything. But Steve, he has the sheets, the pillows, but he you know what his favorite thing are the slippers. And he has 2 pairs of the slippers, and he has one pair that are the moccasin style, and then the others that are slip-on. And those of you that go on our cruises, Steve wears his slippers even on formal night in his suit. And you know what? You can't tell because Mike Lindell's My Slippers to call them a slipper really does a disservice.
Yeah,
they're made for all-day wear, and they're very comfortable. They're very soft. And you will love them. There's huge discounts on them. They have all kinds of different colors. They have great colors for women that are different colors, girly colors, if you can still say that. They have a whole bunch of new sizes.
Don't want to be gender specific anymore.
They have a whole bunch of new sizes that are big and wide for bigger guys, and they have smaller sizes too for ladies. And they probably have some that fit children in the smaller sizes if you take a look, guys. And but Steve told me that's like his favorite out of the MyPillow or the slippers, and he wears them. He doesn't even wear shoes hardly anymore, other than the slippers. They are very soft. They're very comfortable. The soles and the slippers are made for all day wear,
and they're good no matter where you live. Really, whether you live up north or down south where we live.
I've worn mine many times all over town, and you can too. They come in many different colors. You will love them. Now, remember, you can use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, on all the specials at mypillow.com. Okay, no matter what it says, you can use our promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout at mypillow.com. And remember, when you purchase the MyPillow products, you're supporting this program and all the content I bring to you, the radio show, the podcast, my YouTube channel, and everything. And Mike Lindell has been with us for years because you guys buy the products and use our promo code Kane at checkout, okay, Kane, and they keep track of it. I talk to Mike Lindell's office at least once a week, and they are always, since the beginning, have been blown away at the success their advertising has been with us because you guys are so good and supportive of us by buying the MyPillow products. The sales that we get between my YouTube channel, the radio show, and the podcast are as big as some of these national programs. They've told me that, and I want to thank you guys for doing that. Yeah. So
we have a great audience.
Yeah, they wouldn't be with us if you guys weren't buying the products. No. So please keep doing it. All right, promo code Kane. And if you already have everything, they make great gifts, and they make great Christmas gifts. And,
absolutely.
And this is the time to start Christmas shopping. So it's promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout at mypillow.com. All right, we're going to take our last break, and there's a lot more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian. Always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Back after this.
How would you like to take your photos and transform them into stunning professional headshots? You can look like an executive on your LinkedIn or your resume without the hassle or expense of a photo shoot. It's easy. Just go to AIHeadshotGenerator.com and upload at least 12 photos of yourself. With their premium package, you can have as many as 160 headshots. In just up to an hour, the advanced AI will transform your images into high-quality corporate headshots with perfect lighting, professional backgrounds, and subtle facial enhancements that'll make sure you look your very best. There's no account registration required, and the headshots are delivered straight to your email inbox. AIHeadshotGenerator.com is trusted by top companies like Amazon, Meta, and Goldman Sachs. It's perfect for job seekers, entrepreneurs, or anyone who's looking to upgrade their professional image. What are you waiting for? Visit AIHeadshotGenerator.com and upgrade your professional images. That's AIHeadshotGenerator.com. Your professional image perfected. Do you have high blood pressure? Are you concerned about having a heart attack, a stroke, aorta, or other cardiac concerns? If you said yes to any of these, you need to buy the book Miracle Man, Beating the Odds, Cheating Death, from author Scott Pribble. This true story revolves around the author's late-night onset of emergency aortic dissection. After 26 years of various prescribed drugs not lowering his blood pressure, he had emergency surgery at 2 a.m. and was given 15 minutes to live. He survived and wrote Miracle Man, Beating the Odds, Cheating Death to help people worldwide avoid this injury, which happens far more than people realize. Pills aren't enough. Author Scott Pribble's book has received critical acclaim for its easy-to-read format, the surgical and medical records he includes, and the inspiration readers will feel, as well as the motivation and the suggestion the author makes to show the book to your doctors so you can avoid this life-threatening injury. John Ritter, Alan Thicke, Bill Paxton, Lucille Ball, and even Albert Einstein all died from aortic dissection, most within 2 to 3 hours. Miracle Man Beating the Odds Cheating Death is only $7.99 and is available on Amazon. It can also be ordered from your local bookstore. Is your heart health and life worth $7.99? This is an urgent book to buy to help you avoid disaster. Author Scott Pribble wound up disabled the last 16 years and is spreading his message worldwide. Help yourself and help your family now. You can also visit his website, scottpribble.com. That's Pribyl. And one more thing, please share his website with your friends, your coworkers, your family, and your neighbors. Don't be a statistic. Live your better life. Please order today. Again, the book is available on scottpribble.com and Amazon.com, as well as your local book retailer. Do your heart a favor. Order today. You can also email the author at scottspribble@gmail.com. Help yourself and anyone you know, as about 45 to 50% of Americans have heart disease and don't know it. Buy the book today, now, if you have time. Miracle Man, Beating the Odds, Cheating Death, from author Scott Pribble, on Amazon and scottpribble.com.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. It's been a week, and all week long, no mention of Laura Loomer, really, by the media. Someone asked Kellyanne Conway about her the other day, and she's said she's gotten involved, and she doesn't want Loomer around. But
I think Laura's out.
But Laura Loomer,
with the Trump
I
people.
pointed this out a couple times, but she had the best response that got them to stop reporting the story. They started last weekend. Bill Maher started it last Friday. Oh, she's having an affair with Trump, which I told you 100% not true. And Laura Loomer on Sunday or Monday, I think it was Sunday, might have been Monday, Sunday or Monday, she said, I didn't suck blank like Kamala Harris sucked blank to get ahead. Okay? It's not true. As soon as she said that, they dropped the story because they know if they continue the story,
she's going to keep saying
she's going to keep saying that about Kamala, which, by the way, is a confirmation that all the media know it's true about Kamala. Isn't that something?
Well, I feel like, I could be wrong. And like I said, I don't know Laura, so, I've never met her or anything. But I feel like they've kind of phased her out of her access to Trump. And,
it looks that way.
It looks that way. And I think, like I said, I think she could be probably a very divisive personality. And I'm not saying she's not a nice person. I know a lot of people like her, and she's a good reporter. She gets a lot of good stuff. But if you have a person in your orbit that creates a lot of chaos and problems for everybody, you can't have them around.
But you know what,
unfortunately,
Kathy?
you just can't. It's a problem.
You know what, though? How dare Kellyanne Conway? Look what her husband's done.
It's not just
for
Kelly.
years.
I agree.
I couldn't believe Kellyanne Conway was after what her husband has done for years against President Trump.
I know.
He started a whole damn the Lincoln Project thing.
I know.
Okay, and all those interviews.
Yeah, it's
so,
crazy.
To say that Loomer is disruptive and that shouldn't be around, and Kellyanne Conway thinks she's not, it's pretty bad.
Well, Trump got rid of her too.
Yeah, well, no,
Is
she's
she
back
helping
I
him?
think
What
she's
is she
back.
doing?
She's an advisor. She's back, yeah. Okay, so this Oprah Winfrey town hall, it's such a weird thing. Like, I remember once, this was years ago, but Tony Danza was hosting the Emmys.
Yeah.
And
that was weird.
And this was a few years ago, but it was like 20 or 30 years since Who's the Boss got canceled. And I remember we were watching it, and I said to myself, if I got out of a coma, I would think it was 85.
Yeah.
And it was just bizarre. And Oprah Winfrey, what she did with this town hall, it was like she recreated a reboot of the Oprah Winfrey Show that used to be on in the afternoons with all these celebrities. We've got Bryan Cranston, Julia Roberts,
Meryl Streep.
Who cares? This is the thing. First off, most of these actors are has-been celebrities, okay? But on top of that, I don't think that the American people care about TV and movie stars anymore. I think the celebrities are kind of like YouTubers and TikTokers and Trump, okay? It was such a dated present. You know what it was like? It would be like putting together a variety show like they used to do in the 70s with Donnie and Marie or the Bradys and putting that on TV and acting like it's fresh. It was an old Oprah Winfrey reboot, and it was a disaster. And not only was it a disaster, there was one thing in particular that they did that is so insanely stupid, it could not have been allowed by accident. And I'll tell you what it is. It's the thing with Jennifer Lopez. Now, Jennifer Lopez, she's pretty talented. She's a very good actress. She did that show that police show a couple years ago with Ray Liotta, which was very good. And I like Ray Liotta, and she's a very good actress. I'll give her that. But she's a basket case. But to have J-Lo there is insane. She was P. Diddy's girlfriend for years. She was running around when he was doing a lot of his scummy stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, she was with him when he got arrested on those gun charges in that club in New York. Remember that?
She had gotten arrested too.
Did she?
I think they both got arrested.
I don't know if she got arrested. I don't think she got arrested.
I read
detained.
I read they both got arrested and that the charges were dropped and his security guard took the heat.
Okay, I don't know about her getting around. Look, but, she was around him doing a lot of scummy things. Now, I'm not holding her accountable for P. Diddy. However, P. Diddy just got arrested by the Department of Homeland Security, of which Kamala Harris is vice president over, okay, for some of the worst sex crimes anyone has ever been arrested for. In fact, the crimes that they're accusing him of are even worse than Epstein's.
Oh, I think this is a bigger scandal than Epstein.
And there's a lot to it. So to have the girlfriend of someone that just got arrested on all these sex charges this week is so insanely stupid. I almost feel like I feel like the Obamas sabotaged Kamala by allowing that to happen. A normal person would say, hey, J-Lo, sorry, and then have everybody else. So I thought that was bizarre.
Well, I didn't watch it, but there were lots of clips.
I saw the highlights.
There were lots of clips on X last night.
I watched those.
And it was, I don't know whose idea this was. Probably Oprah's. She's stupid too.
She is stupid.
I have to say her outfit was awful. Awful. She does not look good in orange.
Who was wearing orange?
Oprah had orange on from head to toe.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
It just didn't. She just doesn't look good in orange. I'm sorry. And Kamala didn't look good. I didn't like the aesthetics of it. It was like in a big room with all these people around, and then they had like a whole wall of television screens, and it was so weird. And it was such an epic fail because Kamala had many word salads. She would wander off onto these stupid soliloquies, I guess, of making nonsensical, feel good, word salads is what they call them. And it was ridiculous. And then Oprah said something so weird. She said she was at the airport and a black guy came up to her and said, I'm voting for Trump.
Yeah.
Why would she say that? I thought that was so bizarre. But
she's stupid, Kathy. She's stupid.
I don't know. I think it was. I don't know. I don't know why she said it.
She said she was trying to shame him, like there was something wrong with him. And she also
no.
Oprah. She also showed a clip talking about how high grocery prices are.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Under Kamala's rule.
That's what I mean.
Was it sabotage or stupidity?
It was. I don't know.
Because she's in with the Obamas. What do you think?
It seemed like a sabotage to me.
Didn't it? It really did seem like a sabotage.
I mean, why would she say that a black guy came up to her at the airport? That may or may not even be true. I'm voting for Trump. Who does that I've never seen anybody do that
Why would they go to Oprah? Anything to say to Oprah, that's what they would say? If you saw Oprah, is that what you would say? That makes no sense whatsoever other than to tell her audience that black people are voting for Trump. It made no sense. Now, I want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters. Thank you all for your support. And remember, those of you that are Patreon supporters, you have access to commercial-free editions of all the podcast episodes on the Patreon page. And our top Patreon supporters get a live, on-air, thank you shout-out on each and every podcast episode. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Rick, Nick, Wesley, Macho, Mike P, Carlos, Paulette, John, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Richard, Alice, K-Mac, LeeZep, Shawna, Constance, George, Brandon, Rob and Trish Wilkerson, Christy R, and John S. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you all for your support. Now, if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this and every episode. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We will talk to you next time.